We're going to do one other task assignment to demonstrate another feature of the system. This will be the Develop Initial Cultures task. We add Eleanor Nottingham as a senior research scientist with a 25% allocation. A warning is displayed indicating that Eleanor is not available for the period of time when the task takes place. Let's cancel out of this screen and check the absence calendar by selecting Admin, Manage Calendars.
We see that Eleanor has vacation time booked for when the task is scheduled to take place. The system does not automatically try and reallocate sources or make adjustments to the schedule. The project manager is always in control. In this particular case, Eleanor indicates that she will cancel her vacation if Lundbrecht is awarded the WHO grant, so we'll go ahead and assign her as per the original plan. Once again, we view the Gantt chart. Select the Develop Initial Cultures task and edit task details. We add Eleanor at 25% and ignore the warning. We'll also add Hugh Olander and Andrew Harnut to this task. After saving the resource allocation, the bar for that task remains orange. That will remind the project manager that there is still a resource allocation problem until Eleanor has actually rescheduled her vacation.
We will now add some capital and operating expense budgets to this project. We select View, Budget Summary, to get a table view of the budget for the project. We will add $3,000 for 2 new desktop computers for the external resources. We assume that these items will be invoiced and paid for by year-end. We will also add a mass spectrometer at $10,000. Finally, for operating costs, we will add genetic material at $20,000. By selecting View, Budget Tree, we can see that the budget has been adjusted by these changes. We can once again drill down to see the details in a tabular form. We can filter for just capital items, which will display the computers and mass spectrometer budget items. Or we can filter for just operating expense items, which will show the labor costs and genetic materials. We can also view the budget summary for just 2014 or 2015.
We are now going to assume that Lundbrecht received the grant and the project is going ahead. We are going to enter a timesheet for Jack Chow for November 28th, 2014. We do that by once again displaying the project Gantt chart and selecting the orientation task. We then select Time Entry, Work Time Entry. We'll enter the start date as November 28th and the start time as 8 a.m. We'll have this time entry finish at 11:30 a.m. for a total of 3.5 billable hours. You can record non-billable hours for this task as well as confidential notes about any issues encountered while doing the work. These notes are kept separate from the description of the work and would not normally be made available to the client. As soon as the information is entered, you will see that there is a new indicator on the Gantt chart. This is a very useful and unique feature of the Budget Cruncher. Most projects fall behind schedule because staff members are not able to work on the tasks assigned to them for one reason or another. The timesheet indicator allows the project manager to see at a glance that work is actually being done on the assigned tasks. The timesheet indicator on our Gantt chart is pink, indicating that the work is not proceeding as planned. By hovering the mouse over the indicator, we can see that 3.5 hours have been billed to the task, but the task is 0% complete. That is because we have not updated the status of the task. We select Edit, Task Details, and set the percent complete to 100%. After saving this information, the timesheet indicator turns green, indicating that the task is going as planned. By hovering over the entry again, you get an updated message which provides more details.
The next section of this demonstration has to do with entering invoice information. We're going to assume that MaxLab Technologies has sent an invoice covering the 1 day of work done in November. We select View, Invoices, and click on the link to enter a new invoice. We'll choose the vendor and enter invoice details. The Budget Cruncher supports a fairly sophisticated invoice processing workflow. The basic information can be entered by a receptionist, accounting clerk, or anyone else in the organization. Review and approval can be done by other staff members with the appropriate knowledge of the work and invoice approval limits. For now, we will just save the invoice as is. We now select View, Projects. Click on the Ebola project and select View, Time Entries. Of course, there is just the one time entry, but you can see that there is now an invoice selector on the right side of the record. That is because the Budget Cruncher has detected that there is an invoice available from the vendor that provided the person who entered the timesheet. By clicking on the invoice and saving the information, we have partially coded the invoice. To see how this works, we can click on the information icon beside the invoice selector. The timesheet data has been entered as a line item on the invoice. We can now add the tax item and finish reviewing and approving the invoice for payment. Let's assume a few weeks have passed and the invoice has now been paid. We select View, Invoices, and enter payment information from Lundbrecht's accounting system. In this case, we'll assume a check run was done on the third Friday of the month. We now have all the information for the invoice saved in one easy-to-use interface: who entered it, who reviewed it, who approved it for payment, and when it was actually paid.
The last thing we will be showing you today is the ability to review resource allocations and availability. First, we select View, Projects, and click on the Ebola virus project. Selecting View, Resource Allocations brings up a display showing who is working on which tasks. We can restrict this view by date. In this case, we'll look at all allocations after December 1st. The display shows weekends and statutory holidays as non-working time. We can also see Eleanor Nottingham's vacation time in this view. Another way to look at resource allocations is by person. We select View, People, click on Hugh Olander, and select View Task Assignments. This provides a display of the tasks that Hugh is assigned to. Finally, it is possible to see the availability of resources across all projects for the organization. We select View, Projects, and then View Resource Availability. This display has a few additional visual clues to help manage project resources. Just as in the previous resource displays the weekends, statutory holidays and vacation times are indicated as non-working time. For working days, the display now provides the fractional total allocation for each person from 0 to 1.0. The green background indicates how much of the person's time is still available.
For example, if the allocation indicated is 0.25, then the green background will show the person as 75% available for other assignments. This combination of visual clues makes it very easy for the resource manager to plan assignments. And the date range of this display can be changed just as on the other resource management displays. In the case of this resource availability display, the default date range covers the previous month and the next 3 months.
That ends this demonstration of the Budget Cruncher. We hope you found it informative. Given the ability of the Budget Cruncher to manage projects, budgets, time entry, and resources, we think it can help any organization become more agile, more responsive to change, and more efficient.
The product includes a lot of features that we have not shown you today, and it is being enhanced on a continuous basis with monthly functional upgrades. We invite you to visit www.budgetcruncher.com to get the latest news on product updates and development plans.
Thanks for taking the time to view this demonstration video. We appreciate your interest.